Well, good day to everyone. This is a little bit different video. The last 2 or 3 weeks I've gone a number of different hounding trips, and all of them have been very small and picked up very few pieces. And instead of trying to show the footage from a walk that I take where I only pick up 3 or 4 pieces, I thought I would put them all together and just show you what I've found in the last few weeks and go over them. This isn't everything by any means. This is just, I would say, the better pieces of what I found. Some smaller tumbling pieces I've left out of this. But we'll start with pieces of red jasper. So this is one I found at a local park that had a little creek running through it. Let's see if I can... I'm trying a different camera today too, so hopefully things will be more in focus as well. But this is a piece of red jasper that has some quartz, or not quartz, but agate or chalcedony veining going through it as well. Here's just a piece of purple jasper that I like, the very smooth grain and very smooth and consistent color. Not everything I find has a consistent color to it. And here's a piece of red that is very coarse in the grain structure, but what intrigued me by it about it was there's some very clear either quartz or agate pockets in there, and so I think this light colored stuff is feldspar and the rest is jasper. But I just brought this home. It's one of those pieces I brought home just for the sake of cutting it open and see what it looks like on the inside. I don't expect much from this piece. Another piece, just a plain piece of red jasper that will probably get tumbled. And then this piece I picked up at a local state park. I was intrigued by the red color, and when I cleaned it off, saw the black spots in there, and I was thinking, well, that's potentially agate. But then when I sliced it, it isn't clear, so it's still black, and that really interests me. So I'm going to do something with that and see how that polishes up. Some pieces of chert. Of course, here's a piece that you can see a crinoid fossil in real clearly. That is all crystal in there, quartz crystal among the white. And there's another piece on the back here. I don't know how clear it'll show up, but there's another crinoid fossil there. So I thought that it's pretty smooth, smooth texture to it. So I thought that would probably tumble up or finish up nicely if I want to make something out of that. Another piece. This is really dirty. I tried soaking it, but I picked it up for the lighter color and the bands through it, which I believe are either agate or quartz bands through it. So I suspect when I slice that, it'll look a lot cleaner, less brown on the inside. And another piece of chert. I'm a sucker for patterned, the mottled chert like this. I could pick this stuff all day. I just love the mottled design in there. Really intrigued by this piece. It's a big piece of agate. It's not crystalline quartz, but it is fractured, so I don't know exactly how I'll use this yet, but the black is somewhat clear at the top, and it's fractured. You can see the cracks on the back there, but that's still a nice big chunk of agate or quartz. Some other agate and chalcedony here's a piece that, you know, it's pretty plain yellow. You can tell it's fractured, but the fracture, while it isn't glassy, I've come to learn that that the texture when it's polished is very much agate-like. I brought a piece of quartz to compare side by side so that you can see that. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but this piece, when you see the fracture on it and the appearance of it, that's how quartz will appear when it's fractured. Hopefully this is showing up. This has a different fracture to it, and I've learned from picking up pieces and cutting that has this texture to it that it actually finishes very nicely. So I picked that up. All kinds of projects ahead. This is just it looks like a not very pretty piece of chert, but turn it over and it has some red in it, and it has that more of a glassy fracture than this piece does. So it told me it's actually pretty good material. This one I found at the local park as well, a big lumpy bump of chalcedony. From what I've learned from the pieces that I found that are similar to this is that when you slice it open, it'll actually show kind of what I've come to call a plume agate on the inside. Maybe not banded, but it'll have some, looks like clouds, some pluming going on the inside. So I'm just gonna, since this is a fractured side here, I thought I would just slice off a bit here and just see what it looks like and see how clear it is in there. And then what is a good Central Illinois rockhound trip without some petrified coral? So this piece I found at the state park. Here my last trip, and it's got some nice agate, so it's silicified. That's a really nice, very distinct piece. There you can see the lining that I described in one of my past videos, as well as the honeycomb pattern. This piece likewise I found at the state park, and beautiful honeycomb pattern. This is all clear. It's not colored so much as some of the pieces are, at least this portion. And so that I think I'll just tumble. That'll be a nice tumbling piece. And probably the best piece of coral that I found perhaps all year is this piece. Because of its color. It has the nice honeycomb pattern on top, but when you look at the side, it actually has a very nice blue agate color to it. And I think that I'm going to just grind off the side here and smooth up the side so to show that off a little bit better. And so that is really one of the prizes of the last couple weeks. And lastly is this piece here, which is, I'm not sure, it could very possibly be banded chert, but of all the pieces of potential petrified wood that I've found this year, I think, which has not been many, like 2 or 3, this is maybe the 3rd piece, I think this one has the greatest potential for actually being petrified wood. And so it's pretty silicified, pretty hard material, except this one side. This section here is kind of porous and coarse, but I'd like to polish up maybe a couple sides of this and just to get a better look at the grain of this piece. But I'm going to call this, and I'm going to assume that it's petrified wood, but we'll polish that up. Polish that up here coming up and see what it looks like. Incidentally, I keep referring to the projects that I want to do with some of these. rock hounding is getting difficult here where I'm at because the trees are starting to lose their leaves, and you have to the gravel in the river and anywhere you hunt is covered with leaves, and so it's getting a little bit more difficult. And so the projects I keep referring to are likely to becoming a reality here within the next few videos, simply because it's becoming more and more difficult to go out and search. There are a couple places that I still want to search, but yeah, we're going to be starting up some of the projects and showing you what I do with some of these. Anyhow, that's it for this time. Thank you for watching.